town got its hustlers, the Bowery got its bums. 42nd Street got Big Jim, a Walker, he a bull shooting son of a gun. Yeah, he big and dumb as a man can come, but he's stronger than a country horse. And when the bad folks all get together at night, you know they all call Big Jim Boss just because. And they say you don't tug on Superman's cape, you don't spit into the wind, you don't pull a mask off an old Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with Jim. I don't do that. Dee. Well, out of South Alabama come a country boy. He said, I'm looking for a man named Jim. I am a bull shooting boy, my name is Willie McCoy, but down at home they call me Slim. Yeah, I'm looking for the king of 42nd Street. He drive on a drop-top Cadillac. Last week he took all my money, and it may sound funny, but I come to get my money back. And everybody say, Jack, don't you know that you don't tug on Superman's cape, you don't spit into the wind, you don't pull the mask off an old Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with Jim. Ba-do-do-da-da-dee-dee-dee-dee. Well, a hush fell over the pool room, and Jimmy come popping in awful streets. And when the cutting was done, the only part that wasn't bloody was the soles of the big man's feet. Woo! Yeah, he was cutting about 100 places, and he was shot in a couple more. And you better believe I sung a different kind of story when a Big Jim hit the floor. Yeah, they saying you don't tug on Superman's cape, you don't spit into the wind, you don't pull the mask off an old Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with Slim. Yeah, Big Jim got his hat. Find out where it's at. It's not hustling people strange to you, even if you do got a two-piece custom-made bull cue. Yeah, you don't tug on Superman's cape, you don't spit into the wind, you don't pull the mask off an old Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with Slim.
You know, I was wondering, if you could keep on, because the force, it's got a lot of power, and it makes me feel like it makes me feel like
Just All right, folks, welcome back to the college football tonight. We have the head coach of the Western Carolina, Catamounts, going to be rolling into Chapel Hill to take on a struggling Tar Heel squad. We have Coach Mark Spears with us. Coach, thanks for joining us. Just talk about practice. How was practice this evening?
Just got off the field, cold and wet. But shoot, we got a lot done. You know, our guys are. This is always a good opportunity for our program, an FCS program, to play a Power Five school. So our guys are motivated and practicing. Had a good night of practice and trying to get consistency and execution, and so that we go for us go play well. That's our big goal is just to prepare like it's any other opponent, X's and O's, and go prepare well and try to play well on Saturday.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this. Is a last year you guys played each other. Last year, I think I had you on the show last year, and it didn't go really well for you guys. 65-10 loss. So, but this year, North Carolina's struggling. Basically, they're like 1-7 or 1-8 or something like that. So, what do you see from North Carolina that might give you an opportunity to pull off an upset?
Well, they're playing really good offensively right now, in my opinion. I mean, they're scoring some points. They're having some opportunities to win some ball games. I mean, it's not like they're getting blown out. They're losing by a touchdown or 3 points, and they're started out the season with different quarterbacks and had some suspension and all that. Now they're starting to play better, but for us, we got to take care of the football. That was our big deal last year. It was a 7-7 ball game at the end of the first quarter, and then we had a big turnover that they scooped and took back and scored, and it just the momentum got going. Then our quarterback got knocked out. I mean, it's a legal hit, but he didn't play the second half, and that really hurt us last year. And we went into the game all beat up. We had to take a D lineman and teach him how to play linebacker that week of the game. So it just got out of hand on us, But for us, we got to go play well. We got to execute. We got to take care of the ball. For us as well, it's sometimes moving the ball or just running the clock. We've got a phenomenal punter that's and probably an NFL guy. All the scouts been in the scene, preseason All-American. He's got to flip the field when we do punt. And then defensively, we just can't give up the big plays, and that's what we did last year. Give up 4 big plays that you can't do. Expect to keep it close and to have a chance to win in the fourth.
Yeah. Well, you guys played against these guys last year, so these quarterbacks are very familiar, to you guys. So, what do they look differently this year than last year? Because I know Elliott was 18 for 28 last year with for 240 and with 4 touchdowns, and then his backup came in and got a touchdown as well. So, what do you see from those two?
Well, last year we had a 13 safety playing for us, and they found it through a few corner routes on us. This year we're not a whole lot. We're playing 3 freshmen in the secondary, so we're tremendously young on defense. Now we've got an experienced offense, and so we just got to keep things in front of us. Last year we had a guy
Mm-hmm.
in big plays. So, obviously don't want a repeat of that, and just really focusing on keeping everything in front of us. Trying to control the ball a little bit more than we did last year. Um, you know, we had two quarterbacks that were young players that were redshirted, and when our quarterback got knocked out, we had to bring in a walk-on quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just a recipe for disaster last year. So, for us, if we get off to a really good start, a solid start, the pressure's all on North Carolina. We're coming into this thing with nothing to lose. We're coming to have fun, play hard, play fast and physical, and hopefully if we're consistent and execute, if we hang around long enough, then that's when FCS programs upset the big boys. Is just got to play good enough to hang around, and then hey, get to the fourth quarter, you hang around. It's kind of like playing with house money in Vegas. Go all in and let's go win this thing.
Yeah, do you feel like with all these teams like North Carolina and North Carolina State, do you feel like they have more horses to actually, if you get to the, because I saw JMU this year, they played against NC State, and they hung around with the Wolfpack in the fourth quarter until 3 minutes to go, and then experience took over, and basically that happened. Do you feel like you guys have that if it comes down to like 4 minutes to go in the game?
Yeah, I think if we get to the point where 4 minutes in the game, I feel like we've got the horses to go do it. Where the biggest difference between FCS and FBS is the line of scrimmage. They have 22 more scholarships than we do. FBS versus FCS, they've got 85. At our level, the NCAA gives us 63.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest, we got guys that can run typically with a same skill set as a North Carolina, where the biggest difference is on both lines of scrimmage, OL and DL. That's usually where it takes over a ball game, and they've got more of them and they're bigger. OL, DL are so hard to find for everybody, so as you go down the food chain, it's even harder for us to find them. And then a program like North Carolina's typically got 4 more D linemen on scholarship, 5 more D linemen than we do, and probably 5 or 6 more O linemen than we do. And that depth is what takes over late in the ball game up front.
Yeah. Well, you guys have on North Carolina. They have a pass game coordinator, quarterback coach, who actually was part of the program down there, with the Catamounts, on the other side of the field. What's it like having a former Catamount over there?
Yeah, well, we know him. I think he still owns the house. He hadn't sold his house here, but he was here with the previous staff before I got here. But we talked and out and recruiting, great guy, and we've got Catamount coaches all over the place. That have got a lot of Power 5 coaches that are coaching now have come through Western Carolina. So it's a great place to coach. And it's a good place to for young coaches to make that jump to the next level. So he's just one of them that's come through here to go on to do great things at Power 5 schools.
Mm-hmm. Well, one last question. You guys, this is the end of the 2-game series with North Carolina. Do you feel like you want to schedule more with the folks there in North Carolina, maybe East Carolina, maybe NC State, just to keep these football programs in North Carolina?
No question. We are going to play North Carolina State next year.
Okay.
And now, in the foreseeable future, we're playing other schools, but I would like to play in state because you like to keep the money in the state of North Carolina. Plus, a lot of our players grew up, whether they grew up North Carolina football fans, a lot of them grew up Tar Heel basketball fans, and they grew up Carolina fans, and so if they didn't get to play for them, they'd at least like to play at NC State, play at North Carolina, Wake Forest, East Carolina, and by us playing North Carolina, we're going to send about 30, I think it's close to 33. That provides 33 scholarships. So 33 of our 63 players, this will, revenue that we're going to get from the University of North Carolina said and done. 33 guys get to go to college for 1 year on a full ride because of the revenue generated for us from this game. So this is nothing but positives, for us. And the Power Fives play such tough schedules. Sometimes they talk about why do they play the lower levels this late in the year. To me, it shouldn't matter. Your body of work all year is what matters. And this is what's good with college football. It gives Carolina, hopefully, get some guys healthy before they play NC State. And we send 33 guys to college for a year. For me, it's a win-win for everybody.
Well, I feel like every year this time I get a chance to talk to you, so hopefully maybe next year we'll, the NC State game will probably be this week before Thanksgiving. We'll make this a tradition, you and I talking football.
Hey, let's keep it going, and I appreciate you. Put us on the air.
All right, we'll be right back here on the College Football Tonight, here on HerbFM Radio.
A man walks down the street, he says, why am I soft in the middle now? Why am I soft in the middle? The rest of my life is so hard. I need a photo opportunity. I want a shot at redemption. Don't want to end up a cartoon in a cartoon graveyard. Bone digger, dogs in the moonlight. Far away, my well-lit door. Mr. Beer Melly, get these mutts away from me, I don't find this stuff amusing anymore. If you'll be my bodyguard, I can be your long-lost pal. I can call you Betty, and Betty, when you call me, you can call me out.
All right, folks, welcome back to the College Football Tonight here on HerbFM Radio. We have a program reminder next week. We moved our show every year since we've been doing this, but we're moving it to Tuesday night. Next Tuesday, because of the holiday travel, and we don't want to interrupt the folks that find beat writers for this college and here in the CAA and the ACC. So it'll be next Tuesday, November 20th. We'll kick off at 6:30. So we'll be right back here on HerbFM Radio. So in the meantime, here is James Taylor.
You believe I'm gonna clap my hands? I think I might tap my feet. Put together a one-man band, take it walking on down the street. Have a one-man parade.
All right, folks, welcome back to the College Football Tonight, and we have the head coach of West Alabama. They're going to be taking on this week down in Bowie, Maryland, taking on the Bowie State Bulldogs. This is the first time they're playing, and we have the head coach Gilliand with us. Coach, thanks for joining us. You're in your 5th season there. Tell the folks, where is West Alabama? You're not the Crimson Tide of Alabama, are you?
We're not. We're about an hour away from there, but we're on, obviously, and we're right on the Mississippi border, about midway up. So we're between Meridian, Mississippi, and Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and a town called Livingston.
Okay, cool. Just talk about this weekend, this game against Bowie State, first time facing the Bulldogs, and you guys have to head over towards Maryland. So, what did you see from the film from Bowie State, because they beat Fayetteville last week, 30-10, in the conference championship game here in the CIAA. So, what do you see on film?
Well, they're a very talented team. Obviously their quarterback is really, really good, and they have a lot of other players that are really good as well on both sides of the ball. So they run around really well. They play kind of open your face on defense and aren't afraid to mix it up with you there. And so, it's a tall task, obviously, for us to play in the CIAA champs, and they're having a great year. And they're a good team, obviously a well-coached team.
Yeah. Well, talk about, this is the first meeting between you guys. So I guess would you guys ever consider scheduling future matchups against them?
We'd love to, because we love to play any, inter-region games, just because it's hard for all teams to fill a schedule sometimes. But obviously the distance between and the cost related to travel would be a hurdle that we'd have to find a way to overcome. But no, we're not against future schedules.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk about your team, because you guys are coming over here to unfamiliar area. So just talk about your squad. Who's your offense and defense, and who do they want to? If anybody comes to Bowie State, want to watch this game on Saturday, who want to put a circle around.
Gotcha. Well, our offense, we're spread offense, and we're pretty balanced with throwing and running. The guy who everything works around, just like Bowie State, is our quarterback, Harry Satterwhite. He's number 15 for us. He was a Heartland Hill finalist last year. He's battled some injuries this year throughout the early part of the year, and is back healthy 100% finally for the last several games. He makes our offense go. One of our all-conference receivers is tight end Quay Boyd, number 18. Him and Christian Salisbury, number 2, are two receivers that were first-team all-conference just named today. So they're certainly two guys to watch if you're at the game, and we get the ball to those guys in space a lot, and let them do their work. Our running backs, we kind of have a three-headed monster at running back: Tyler Rogers, number 28, Derek Underwood, number 3, and Tevin Moore, number 5. And those guys are really solid, and we've got a lot better at running the football throughout the course of the year, front blocking and getting our backs all back healthy. So I feel like our offense is clicking and playing pretty good football right now, but it starts with number 15, the quarterback, as it does with most places that run a spread type offense. And then on defense, we have number 14, Terry Samuels, is our linebacker. He's kind of the heart and soul of our defense. He was the defensive player of the year in the conference last year. Leads our team in tackles. He flies around from the will linebacker position and gets in on a lot of tackles and causes a lot of havoc. Up front on defensive line, number 42, Jordan Jones, the defensive end, to pay attention to. He was second in our conference with tackle for losses and sacks, and was just named first team all GSC today as well. So those two guys, carry our defense, and we have several guys in support, but those are probably the two key ones to watch.
Well, talk about your conference. You're in the Gulf South Conference. Explain to folks who's in your conference.
The Gulf South Conference, we feel prepares our league teams for the playoffs, because we feel top to bottom it's a really, really good conference. This year in the playoffs, in the top 7 ranking, Valdosta State, who's first in the region, and West Georgia, who's second, are Gulf South Conference teams, and then obviously us at 5th, and then Florida Tech, who's 6th in the region, is also that's the 4 teams from our conference that got in the playoffs this year. Last year we also were able to get 4 teams in. Delta State's a team that played Bowie State last year from our conference, and and so that's a team some people up there might have seen last year. They had to come to Bowie in this first round game, just like we are Saturday. So other teams in our conference are Mississippi College, Shorter, West Florida, who made a run to the national championship game last year and fell a little short in the national championship game. They're in our conference as well. And North Greenville just entered our conference this year. So really good conference, top to bottom. It's a good football conference.
Does your fans travel really well? Like, I know some programs they're very good. Fan base travels even on away games. Do you guys get a lot of people making the trip to Bowie this weekend?
Our fans usually do travel pretty well. The trip to Bowie's a long trip, about 850 miles for us. So I'm not sure. I've heard a lot of them saying that they're heading that way. So we will have a presence there. We'll have obviously a lot of parents that have said they're making the trip, and a few of our local people here. But we have really good fans, really good community support, and I hope to see several of them, especially with the next week being a Thanksgiving week. So maybe some of them have some work off, so they can go up and make a long weekend out of it, because it's a pretty neat area to be going to.
Yeah. So real quick, I know a lot of coaches don't want to look ahead, but explain to folks about your playoff system. You guys play this weekend, and then next weekend, and then it goes all the way to middle of December.
Yes, sir. It's 5 weeks. It's a 5-week playoff. We're in the 5 spot. Bowie State's in the 4 spot. So the winner of our game will go to Valdosta State, who's the number 1 seed in our region. They got the bye. They've earned the bye this year. So the winner of our game will go to play them in Valdosta, Georgia. And then we carry on through. You go through region play for the first 3 weeks, and then everything gets reseeded in the semifinals when there's 4 region champs left, and then they square off for the semifinals, and then the finals this year is going to be in McKinney, Texas.
Okay.
McKinney Stadium, brand new stadium there in Texas. So it's an exciting time. When you get
Well, Coach, it sounds like it's going to be fun. You guys have a safe travel here to Maryland, and hopefully you could bring some nice warm weather for us because we're supposed to get snow tomorrow here, and we're not ready for snow in this area.
It's supposed to be warmer there this weekend though than it is here. So.
Oh, wow.
We practiced in 30-degree weather today, so I think it's going to be bright and sunny, about 50 degrees on Saturday high. So we're looking forward to it.
All right, Coach. Thanks for coming on. We'll be right back here on the College Football Tonight here on HerbFM Radio.
Don't it make you smile? Don't it make you smile? Don't it make you smile? When the sun don't shine, don't it make you smile?
All right, folks. Thanks for tuning us in here on HerbFM Radio. Coming up at 8:08, we have Ken Sugiura, our friend from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. We'll talk Georgia Tech football because Georgia Tech's taking on Virginia. Then we have our good friend Tony Covington, who is the radio analyst for the the Cavaliers of UVA. We'll talk to him at 8:15. Charlie Fist, who is the media contact for the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. We'll talk to him about what's going down there in the heart of Texas, getting ready for that semifinal game of the college football playoff this year. Then our good friend Greg Medea from JMU, the football beat writer, will join us at 8:45 to talk about the Towson and JMU game for this Saturday at Johnny Unitas Stadium. At 9 o'clock, Jerry Ratcliffe from the JerryRatcliffe.com will join us. We'll talk about UVA football and basketball or anything about UVA. Brian Bacco, who is a good friend of ours from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, will join us at 9:08. Then Stephen Bailey and I will talk Syracuse football because the Orangemen are going to Yankee Stadium, where the Yankees play during the regular season, but they changed the field into a football field. So we'll talk to him about going to Yankee Stadium. And then Mike James, the president of the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, who is the chairman or the media contact for the Jim Thorpe Award, will be joining us at 9:25. So we're going to take a break here. When we come back, we'll get our friend Ken Sugiura from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. We'll be right back. You are listening to the College Football Tonight here on HerbFM Radio. We'll be right back.
Down the street, he says, why am I soft in the middle now? Why am I soft in the middle? The rest of my life is so hard. I need a photo opportunity. I want a shot at redemption. Don't want to end up a cartoon in a cartoon graveyard. Bone digger, dogs in the moonlight. Far away, my well-lit door. Mr. Beer Melly, get these mutts away from me, I don't find this stuff amusing anymore. If you'll be my bodyguard, I can be your long-lost pal. I can call you Betty, and Betty, when you call me, you can call me out. A man walks down the street, he says, why am I short of attention? Got a short little span of attention and wore my nights.
Alright folks, welcome back to the College Football Tonight here on a Wednesday night, November 14th. Next week we'll move it to Tuesday the 20th, but anyway, right now we have Ken Sugiura, our good friend from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Ken, thanks for joining us. First, you're on the way back from Knoxville, so let's talk about the Tech basketball team. They played Tennessee last night. How did they do?
They lost 66-53. not a terribly surprising result. Tennessee is they're number 5 in the country. Really good defensive team. A lot of talent, obviously. Grant Williams is probably one of the better players in the country. Tech is young and experienced, and they play pretty good defense, but shot really poorly. And I think that may be kind of the story of the season a little bit. The one kind of interesting thing, or one interesting thing, is that they got James Banks, who's a transfer from Texas. He got an immediate eligibility waiver the day of the game. He rushed up to Knoxville to play and played about 16 minutes. And I think he gives a little hope for the rest of the season. But so that makes it a little interesting. But yeah, it probably is going to be a bit of a bumpy ride for the Jackets this winter.
Yeah. Well, let's just talk about the football team. It's senior day down there, and they're at the university against Virginia, running a good winning streak for the Yellow Jackets. So, what do they got to do to keep this thing going?
Well, I think kind of doing the same things that they've been doing. They started out 1-3. Part of it was just playing, a tougher part of the schedule. They had, Clemson, Pitt, USF. All losses and didn't look great, but the offensive line got healthier. I think the defense, they have a new coordinator, Nate Woody. I think they're kind of coming together. And I think one thing that Paul Johnson keeps saying is, as long as they can play, close to mistake-free football where they're not fumbling, not creating a lot of penalties, then they've got a chance. Miami, they beat them last week 27-21 in obviously a tight game. Probably either that or Virginia Tech went on the road, the biggest one of the season. Virginia was obviously a tough team they're playing to try to keep in the coastal race. Bronco Mendenhall has kind of historically done a good job defending Paul Johnson's offense. So yeah, I think it's just kind of like it always is, control the clock and hope the defense gets the turnovers for you.
Yeah. Well, this week you guys have to play Perkins, the quarterback from the Cavaliers. I saw him a couple weeks ago down there at Duke, and that guy could throw and run just like Lamar Jackson. But he's not Lamar Jackson type, but he looks similar to what that guy was in Louisville.
Yeah, I think he has Paul Johnson's full attention and the rest of the team. Johnson's been talking about him even over the last few weeks. I think he's just kind of seeing them watching other teams and preparing or watching on TV, and so he's a guy. What he said is he's transformed that team. Like you said, he's a dual threat guy, and Tech hasn't had the best of success, keeping guys in pockets consistently, and so obviously if he can get out and make plays on you, extend drives with picking up first downs or so forth, that's going to cause problems. So yeah, obviously that's probably the first priority for Tech is just keep it in the pocket and try to make him, as they say, as one-dimensional as they can.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk about the seniors. I talked to Paul about this morning on the teleconference call about the senior class and all that stuff, and he basically said it's going to be an emotional day, and it seems like he's pretty going to be emotional too.
Yeah, it's funny. The image he projects on Saturdays in particular is yelling and screaming and crusty and all that, but I think he kind of just cores kind of a softie, or he can be. And obviously, I think any coach you're around the same kids 4 and 5 years, and I think at Tech you seem to get a lot of really good kids that go to class and do the right things, and a lot of them have maybe not no aspirations, but aren't looking at school as a stepstone to the NFL, but just want to get an education, do things that kind of the way you would hope would happen in college football. So yeah, this is a class they've kind of been through some ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
The red shirts went to the Orange Bowl, and then they went 3-9, then went to won 9 games after that, and then missed the bowl game last year. And so it's been a good group, but Clay Searcy, A-back, Clint Munch, another A-back, Taquan Marshall, who's been the captain and quarterback the last 2 years. Brent Mitchell, linebacker, has been a starter for the last 3 seasons. So yeah, I'm sure a lot of kids that he's developed good, close relationships with him. I'm sure when Saturday rolls around, when all those families and kids are coming around, they'll probably they'll have a lot of nostalgia and so forth.
Exactly. Well, Ken, thanks for joining me tonight. Have a safe trip back from Knoxville. Hopefully you don't get stuck in that icy weather coming through, but hopefully you're driving safely, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Okay, thanks, Chris.
All right, we'll be right back here on the College Football Tonight here on HerbFM Radio. welcome back to the College Football Tonight here on HerbFM Radio. We have the radio analyst for the Cavalier Football Radio Network, Tony Cummington, with us. Tony, thanks for joining us. Talk about this game, big game this weekend for you guys, going down to Atlanta to face the option. So what does Coach Mendenhall have to do to control that?
Yeah, well, he's had some tremendous success historically, and he's a firm believer in, he likes hard things. He likes the team to take on hard things, and going against the triple option is extremely challenging because it's not an offense that you face on a weekly basis. So the subtle nuances of it, the cut blocking and the precision that it's going to take to defend it, everyone's going to have to be sound in their assignment.
Mm-hmm. Well, talk about Georgia Tech. They have two different quarterbacks, Marshall and the other guy. So what does this Bronco need to do to prepare for whoever is going to be under center for the Yellow Jackets?
Yeah, well, they both are different. Marshall is the field general when it comes to the overall offense, and he has the experience. He's probably a better passer. And then when Oliver comes into the game, he is more of that runner. He came in, I think, one game against, I believe it was Tech, and he rushed for 40 times. So, when you have a guy that's dynamic, a runner that way, and so they both bring a set of challenges along with them.
Yeah. So what was the challenge last week against Liberty? What was it like playing against a team in the Commonwealth, and probably give them a good payday? But it seemed like it was a good game.